जावेदानी.
Thank you for coming out tonight. It's a real privilege and honor to be with you. My given name is Murray Still, the Reverend Canon Dr. That's my given name. My spirit name is Chief Golden Eagle Man from Peguis First Nation, the Bear Clan. And it is an honor to be able to tell you a little bit of the story of the First Nations, and in particular my experience within my own teachings. I hold an eagle feather because the eagle feather is, the eagle is closest to Creator and brings our prayers to Creator, and is one of our sacred birds. So when we see an eagle fly across the land, when we've had a gathering, we know that we have been blessed, because that's the sign of the Creator and the Creator's blessing among us. So, the eagle feather is given to leaders who have, and the sacred feather is utilized to give honor, and I hold it with honor, and it gives me also the courage to speak and words that I need. So I welcome you all here, and it is good to be with you. I'm here because of Labib. I was at a meeting of the Manitoba Multi-Faith Council, and after that meeting, a few people got together and had their eats and lunch, and then I got chatting with a couple of people, and I never got the eats that day. It was 2 hours later, I had a chat with Labib. It was, I don't know, I'll forget all we talked about. We had a lot of things to talk about. And so through that conversation, he invited me to come tonight as part of the Education Committee. And so I'm happy to be here. I must say I don't represent every Indigenous person. I am not a spokesperson for all Indigenous people. We have a lot of different tribes. I am Cree, some are Ojibwe, and the tribe in which I'm connected with, Cree, comes from, they take their name, Peguis, from Chief Peguis. One of the first things that comes to my mind is a question might be asked of us from time to time. Well, who are you? Like, what brings you here? Who are you? And it's a question of identity, is it not? So people want to genuinely know when they ask, well, who are you? It's identity. So that's why I start with my name and my spirit name. And also have a spirit animal, a flying otter. and my task in this life is to learn more about these things and to kind of continue the growth in that. But as a spiritual leader, my task is to do what I can to be able to lift up our teachings and to live the life not only of our Creator, but of the person I follow and whose name is Jesus. So within my specific tradition, I did not grow up with an identity of First Nation. I did not. I was ordained into the Anglican Church of Canada in its rights in 1989. And so as a new deacon in the church, I spent my first years in a community called Grand Rapids, which is halfway between Winnipeg and Thompson. So, and it is there that kind of started to shape me in terms of my experiences in life. And it's very interesting because we're storytellers as Indigenous people. I'll just tell you a quick one. My first experience of being in Grand Rapids, an elder comes up to me and he's a bit of a jokester, but I didn't know it at the time. And he says to me, "Oh, nice to meet you." He says, "Tansi, nice to meet you." Tansi means welcome, greetings. So he had me to repeat that, just because I didn't speak Cree. Eh? So Tansi, he says, "Oh, okay, you got that right now." He says, "Now this coming Sunday morning, I tell you what, when the elders come in, there's going to be a lot of elders, and the women are going to come up, and they're going to shake your hand, and you want to say to them, Tansi. Say it again, Tansi, greetings. Okay, I said, that's fine, greetings. Shake their hand, And then I want you to say, Tansi Nichimus. And he says, say it again for me. Tansi Nichimus. Say it again. Tansi Nichimus. Then, I tell you what you do, then you give them a little kiss on the cheek, right? That's what you do. Sunday morning, this is what you do when you shake their hands and you go through. I said, okay, this guy's a little bit strange. So I went home and I opened up my Cree dictionary. And the word Nichimus is my other half, my other self, my partner in life, if you will. So Sunday morning comes along and I greet everybody, and I'm greeting everybody, say Tansi, 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 and I get down to the end of this gentleman who's at the end of the line because he wants to laugh a little. And at the end of the line, I said Tansi Nichimus, and I gave him a kiss on the cheek. So you got to do your research when you're in these communities. So at any rate, it was that's how I started off my journey. This, of course, a journey of learning, and that's what life is about. It's about learning. It's about finding what is new to us, and I'm trying to find the best understanding we can, and to grow from that learning and to move past it. So to grow up, almost like when you were kids. You have your children. But then as a parent, it's your responsibility to teach them, to help them to grow and to learn, take them to the mosque, help them to learn how to pray, learn how the scriptures work, taught. And, it's interesting, when I gave you my name, in my tradition, in our faith tradition, from the Torah that we share, Abraham was Abram. And God gave him a different name. I have been given the Spirit name because of my work that I have been doing since 1993. I've been involved in the work of Indigenous ministries. And my work has been around healing in communities, healing from the experiences of Indigenous peoples. We have what we call a process of colonization in Canada. And some coming from other experiences around the world would understand what colonizing means. When people from outside lands come onto yours, it almost reminds me of the conflict in the Middle East, where Palestinian people who had lived there all of their lives somehow get their lives disrupted by people coming in and taking those lands. And we know some of the biblical roots around that. And so it troubles us when we get uprooted, and the place where we've been somehow is less familiar to us, and we're trying to find our way once again, right? And so in Canada, in North America, we call Turtle Island. In North America, the First Nations, the Inuit up in the northern parts of Canada, and eventually the Red River Métis people, who were a part of this part of Canada. All of North America, we called them First Nations. So the First Nations were here for thousands and thousands of years before any colonization. Our ancestors taught us, our elders and ancestors, that there will be coming a day when strangers will visit your lands, visit the lands that we now own, the people lands of the land and the waters. They'll visit your lands. They don't know how to live on your lands. They don't know anything. You will have to teach them. And you will teach them how to hunt. You will teach them how to trap. You will teach them how to fish. You'll teach them how to build structures to live in. You'll teach them how to trade. You'll teach them how to survive in cold and harsh climate weather. Because these are your relatives. So, my brothers and sisters here, you are my relatives in the today world. We are all relatives. In First Nations colors of our medicine wheel, we call it, in the teachings, when we look up at the moon, the sun, we can see that it's a circle. And our teachings from the Indigenous heritage tell us that when we look at the circle, that we are all connected. And we are all connected on this earth where the Creator has placed us. And each of us has something to contribute. All the colors of the globe those who have different colored skin, red, white, yellow, black. We were taught that these all belong. We are all equal in the Creator's eyes because He created all of us. And these are relatives in that way. So because you are my relatives, I greet you as relatives. And relatives are family. Relatives are people that, if it's like a stranger, right? The only stranger is a friend I haven't met yet. So when you meet someone new, it's a simple hello, my name is. Nice to meet you. And then we explore a little bit more about who we are and how we live life and a little bit about some of the things that we have in common. So that's what we did. For centuries, we lived as an egalitarian society. And what that means is that we were living in families, communal families, mom, dad, auntie, uncle, grandpa, grandma. It was a large family of communities. If my neighbor Tim wanted, in today's language, he wanted to, let's just as an example, wanted to cut his grass, but he didn't have a lawnmower, he'd come over to my place and borrow my lawnmower and cut his grass. And then when he was done cutting his grass, he brought it back. And you know what? I didn't call the police on him, or some neighborhood person who would bring my lawnmower back. We knew that that's what, if you had a need, you just took what you needed. We had this. Our task as Indigenous peoples has always been stewards of the land the Creator put us on, and we know that we do not own Mother Earth. She is giving us life, and without her, none of us could live on this planet. And it's why we need to pay attention to things like the waters and the lands. And the First Nations have been good stewards of the land. They understand the roles of the beaver, the roles of the four-leggeds, the roles of the insects, the roles of all of the all the things in creation have purpose, and the Creator put them there. And First Nations people learned to live with that, and they learned that from the ground that Mother Earth produces, you have medicines. Medicines like tobacco, which you have presented to us, and that are sacred medicines: tobacco, sage, sweetgrass, and cedar. Those are the sacred medicines. We are taught when we use those medicines, for example, if you take something from the ground, you lay tobacco down to give thanks for Mother Earth giving back to us for those things that we need. If an animal gives its life, you give tobacco for that animal and give thanks that animal has gifted you with that animal's life. When we hunted, for example, we used every single piece of the animal. The animal would give us the clothing that we needed to wear for winter. They needed the bone structure, gave us the tools we needed to feed ourselves and to work with and to sew. All of those kinds of things came from the animal. And so we learned how to live on this Mother Earth that the Creator gave to us. So when our relatives came from other places, we remember what our ancestors taught us. We remember that you are to welcome them to your lands. You are to honor them. You are to respect them as your family, relatives, and to help them.